More commercial break to get there. Lakers over the Utah Jazz, 128-117, the final score. Lakers end the season, the regular season, 43-39, so 4 games over 500. 18-8 over the final 26 games. Impressive stretch for the Lakers. Not ideal the way they've played in these last couple of games. I think a lot of it just kind of trying to get to the finish line. You have to play a lot better basketball moving forward, but we do know who the Lakers are going to play. So the 3 games that we are watching earlier today, one of them was the Warriors and the Blazers. Warriors just got past the Blazers 157-101. Real close one there. Clippers end up surviving over the Suns 119-114. So that means Clippers are the number 5 spot. Warriors are the number 6 spot. And then the last game we were waiting for just finished, the Timberwolves and the Pelicans. Minnesota comes back from, I think, double digits down to win 113-108. So that means Crypto.com Arena, Tuesday night play-in game, the Lakers will face the Minnesota Timberwolves. So finally the dust has cleared a little bit. Finally we have somewhat of an idea. Not somewhat. We have the idea. Now we know who we're going to play. Now we know where everybody is. Lakers Timberwolves will be the first of the play-in, and then the second play-in game will be the Pelicans and the Thunder. See how it all shakes out. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see any of the Minnesota Timberwolves highlights a little bit earlier. Rudy Gobert was sent home in the middle of the game for swinging, I guess that's the closest thing to a punch, somewhere towards his throat, chest at one of his own teammates. So let's just say Minnesota not exactly united at the moment, and maybe the Lakers can take advantage of that. We'll see what happens there. But we are set. Lakers and the Minnesota Timberwolves will be the playing game. So that's who you can expect for the Lakers to take on coming up on Tuesday. All right. Let's do this here. A lot to get into in today's post-game show. Let me start off, as we always do. If you need a break from the everyday, well, fans, it might be your lucky day. Because today, Fantasy Springs Resort Casino is giving away a 2-night stay, plus dinner and golf or bowling for 2. Make any day your lucky day. Book now at FantasySpringsResort.com. Phone number is 877-710-ESPN, 877-710-ESPN. Feel free to shoot us a call if you want to be a part of the show. Let's start off with listening to Lakers head coach Darvin Ham.
Darvin, you took care of the business that you could, I guess, to get to this point. But how would you sum up what this has felt like now, knowing you're going to be playing on Tuesday, likely against either Minnesota or New Orleans as the 7?
It's great, man. Regardless of who wins, we'll prepare accordingly. Probably go into a little bit more detail. Maybe a normal, not quite as extensive as a playoff series scout, but definitely a regular season scout on steroids. But we're just looking forward to the opportunity, starting where we started at early in the year, now where we are, where we find ourselves sitting. We're excited. The guys are ready to go. We got great synergy in our locker room. Need to clean up some stuff defensively, but outside of that, we're ready to go.
Just thinking back to around the trade deadline, the record where it was, assume that you would have taken the number 7 seed and the chance to win one game to get into round 1 of the playoffs.
Absolutely. Obviously you would like to secure your position, but things don't always fall your way. But it's not about the action; it's about the reaction and the way we've reacted when we found ourselves facing adversity. We've been able to climb out of it, and here we are. After starting 2-10. 43-39. It's a hell of an opportunity before us, facing us, and we're up for it wholeheartedly.
As Mike mentioned, you guys took care of business winning 9 out of your final 11. But I would say, since late in the Utah game, it didn't look quite as strong as it had been. What can you? I don't know if you agree with that, but if you do agree with that, what can you do to get back home? Because you need. The curtain comes up on Tuesday. We got to find our guys some rest time, obviously. Be efficient with how we spend our non-game days. Make sure they're getting the proper treatment between now and Tuesday. And, again, dive into the film, maybe walk through some stuff out on the floor. But they're aware, man. These stakes are high. And, a lot of times
I don't want to call it pressure, but the challenges of guys knowing that what's at stake can weigh on them a little bit. But, here we are. We know what's in front of us. We'll play either one of those two teams, and we'll be all set to go. But just between now and then, just obviously being as smart as possible with our preparation.
Darvin, you guys were pretty open as a group with setting goals, and I think at one point there was even a number on the board like we need to get to this many wins or something like that. You guys come, I think, incredibly close. Was it simply the trade? Was there anything else? Did you see a focusing maybe from AD at times? It seems like it's kind of been different over this month or so.
I think, both AD and Bron have had monster stretches this year when they've been in a lineup. And, obviously making the changes that we made at the deadline to bring in guys, who could not only operate at a high level, but whose skill sets totally fit our two big dogs in Bron and AD. And, sort of making the game a little bit easier on them. But, make no mistake about it, the games can fit, but guys have to be on the same page mentally and spiritually as well. And I think that has probably been the biggest uptick with our team. Everyone communicating properly, everyone pulling for each other, everyone, really pushing one another to know what we're doing, to get it right, with no, no type of individual agendas or motives. But it's been beautiful to watch, beautiful to see come to maturation. And, again, there's a level of still trying to figure things out and get these new guys more acclimated and submerged in what we're doing. So just all of that, just the energy, the chemistry, the skill sets, all of that, that was added at the deadline.
One of the other things that happened around that time was Austin came back from an injury and then probably played the best 30 games or so of his career.
Yes.
What has that ascent been like to what you guys are able to do? What has it added?
Just another weapon, man, on both sides of the ball. I mentioned it earlier. He leads us in taking charges, and he's been phenomenal offensively, playing out of his mind. But the kid works his butt off, man, and it's not surprising for me to see him take that type of step forward, especially the fact that he's a confident young man. The bright lights, they don't bother him. Whoever the opponent is, he's going to come out and just flat out hoop. I can't say enough about him and Dennis, the way those have been two of our more consistent guys all year. And they've really helped us in so many ways to win games and to be there for us, to help Bron and AD and the rest of their teammates. They've been wonderful, wonderful. It's been a beautiful experience coaching those guys, those two in particular.
Darvin, you guys have basically been playing what feels like do-or-die games for a month now. Like, how does that experience help prepare you guys for Tuesday's matchup and just kind of already being in the mode of this is high stakes, every game, every possession matters? How do you feel like that can translate into Tuesday?
I just think it like to your point, with so much riding on each and every game, it's forced us to take each game one at a time and not get overwhelmed with what's behind the upcoming game. Like, okay, we go into Tuesday, and then if we win or lose, and then what happens with that, and what happens with like these games, like I said, each game is its own entity, and we've treated it like that. And I don't see anything being any different going into this Tuesday game. We're going to pour all of our hearts and soul into that, being successful Tuesday night, and we'll go from there.
Hey, Coach, right here. You talked about the slow start to the season. Now you're playing particularly well heading into the postseason. How different is the mindset of the thought of what this team can accomplish now compared to when it looked maybe bleak at the beginning of the year?
I just think sky's the limit, man. We're going to go as far as our work and preparation takes us, and our health, first and foremost. I think if we're healthy, we continue to pay attention to detail, continue to alleviate, mistakes that may be a little repetitive, and sustain the things that we're doing well. I think sky's the limit. Any team with LeBron James and a healthy Andy Davis and D'Lo, Dennis, Austin, all these guys, Van Bees, like Winyon's activity, Troy's ability to knock down threes and be versatile defensively. I just think sky's the limit. I mean, we're not going to put a ceiling over our own self. Again, do what we got to do to make sure we're healthy and we're whole, and continue to prepare and continue to take things one day at a time.
Darvin, how much confidence have you guys gained in Rui to use him like you guys did in the fourth quarter?
Oh,
tonight?
Rui too. I forgot to mention Rui in that group, but
Well, I mean that's my question.
yeah.
Come on, Ham.
They're always a smart ass. Yeah. But no, it's Rui's been phenomenal, man. Like, again, I mentioned it. I think it was the last game, maybe. When he's energetic and he's playing with force, it's great. You can finish with him. He can guard bigs, and in late game situations, a lot you have to switch. And he has good enough feet where he can stay in front of a guard, and he's strong enough where he can hold up a center and hold his own in the post or in pick and roll defense. So, and then offensively, you saw, he misses a shot, he recovers his own rebound, he's strong to the rim, he knocks down free throws, a good mid-range shooter, capable three-point shooter. He's multifaceted, as is a ton of our guys that we have on our roster now. So he's just going to be another one that we lean on heavily, in this postseason.
All right, that's Lakers head coach Darvin Ham right there. So we know who the Lakers are going to play, and we also know the time that game is going to be at. So the Minnesota Timberwolves, 6:30 tip-off against the Minnesota Timberwolves coming up on Tuesday. Really, really interesting day for them. You got Rudy Gobert, who was out, gets removed from the game after swinging at Kyle Anderson. Rudy Gobert leaves the game. Okay, that's kind of some infighting right there. There was also another moment for the Minnesota Timberwolves, who the Lakers will play on Tuesday. Their forward, Jaden McDaniels, punched a wall on his way to the locker room at halftime. He has fractured his hand. Sources tell ESPN he's broke his right hand is the details of it. At least that's coming from Woj. So they're two key players. I got no idea, what happens from here on Tuesday, what the effects is of this Rudy Gobert situation. But a Minnesota Timberwolves team, which I'll give them credit, they came back in the second half against the Pelicans, ended up beating them. With all this happening, just kind of an unbelievable day for a team that had some promise, could have even potentially avoided the play-in tournament, but that didn't happen. They got the Lakers coming up on Tuesday night, 6:30 game on Tuesday night. All right, we come back. We'll get a chance to hear from some of the players. I'll take some phone calls. We'll start previewing the Lakers and the Minnesota Timberwolves. We'll do all that coming up next. Stay right here. Pete's Out Lakers postgame show on 710 ESPN.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them.
All right, Captain. May the best man win. I wish you the best of luck. I will say this is kind of like my arena here, so I have to come out with a W. San Diego State lost yesterday. I'm going to win today. I just have to do it. All right? Here we go. Thank you to Islands, by the way.
Hey, Sliwa, you guys may have won in pickleball, but I'm about to win in Papa Shot. I'm so committed to this project. Look around. I'm in the back of Yamava. I got guys holding the thing down in the wind. I got the van right here I'm plugged into. That's how committed I am to winning Papa Shot, because I'm an island guy, and I'm going to Islands. Go! Champ is here. First off, thank you, Islands. Papa Shot Championship. Guys, sometimes you just got to get the trophy. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to get the trophy. Thank you to Islands. Papa Shot is over. Had to take down everybody at the station. I appreciate the effort, but I had to take us home, guys.
reaction on the Lakers line.
Presented by Pizza Hut.
Bigger, it's cheesier. The Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut. Big pizza, bigger deal. $13.99 Big New Yorker, only at pizzahut.com.
Hi, this is Anthony Davis of your Los Angeles Lakers.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
It's time for Lakers Postgame with Sliwa.
Now, here's Allen Sliwa.
All right, Points in the Paint all season long is sponsored by Vista Paint. Right now, local residents can take 40% off on Factory Direct, high-quality Vista Paint products. A Vista Paint team member will show you how. Locally owned, manufactured, and operated since 1956. Visit vistapaint.com and start saving. Points in the Paint this afternoon. 76 points in the paint for the Utah Jazz, 50 for the Lakers. But Lakers hit 8 more threes, 18-10 as far as threes go, so the Lakers plus 24 there. It was a very interesting day, kind of fascinating. We haven't had a game like this where you're on pins and needles, and you're not even just – first off, the Lakers had a much closer game against the Jazz than you would have liked. That's number one. So the game is closer. You know, you got to take care of at least this game. But there was the only game that really the Golden State Warriors came out and just said, yeah, we're not messing around here. Give us that 1 week off. We don't care where you put us, 5 or 6. And they got the number 6, so it's going to be Sacramento and the Golden State Warriors. But for the Lakers, while their game was going on, we're paying attention to a close Clippers-Suns game. We're paying attention to a close Minnesota-Pelicans game. So really kind of a fascinating day. This is your seeding. We know that, and I'm just going to do the matchups that we know. We know Sacramento is going to play the Golden State Warriors. We know the Phoenix Suns are going to play the Los Angeles Clippers. That's your 3-6 and your 4-5. All 4 of those teams are obviously going to get the rest. They'll get a week off. Denver and Memphis now just kick back and chill, and they wait to see what happens with the play-in tournament. The Lakers will get the Minnesota Timberwolves 6:30 game against the Minnesota Timberwolves coming up on Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, the Pelicans will host the Oklahoma City Thunder, and then we'll kind of go from there. If Lakers take care of business on Tuesday, they'll get Memphis in the first round. If they don't, then they'll host another game, this time against the winner or the loser of the winner of the Pelicans and the Oklahoma City Thunder. So still a lot that can shake out here, but all you really got to pay attention to is Tuesday, 6:30, take care of business here in the playoffs. You'll have the Memphis Grizzlies waiting for you. I mentioned this, the Rudy Gobert incident. Rudy Gobert leaves the game, swings at Kyle Anderson, his own teammate during the Pelicans game. If you have not seen it yet, just go on Twitter. You'll see 240 different versions of it because everybody put it up, as you would imagine. I'm going to read something from Adrian Wojnarowski, puts out a tweet. Minnesota President of Basketball Operations Tim Conley on Rudy Gobert. We made the decision to send Rudy Gobert home after the incident in the second quarter. His behavior on the bench was unacceptable, and we will continue handling the situation internally. So what does that mean for Tuesday's game? I have no idea. I don't know if the NBA steps in a situation like that or the Minnesota Timberwolves handle it themselves. I'm sure the Minnesota Timberwolves would like to say, hey, kiss and make up. You got a game on Tuesday. We'll see what happens. Also, matchup against the Minnesota Timberwolves on Tuesday. Minnesota Timberwolves forward Jaden McDaniels punched the wall on his way to the halftime. On his way to the locker room at halftime, he fractured his hand. That's another tweet from Woj. So a lot going on with the opponent that the Lakers have coming up on Tuesday. Not exactly the greatest stuff. I will say this, just to put everything to the side. We know that Karl Anthony Towns, Mike Conley, Anthony Edwards, they got good players over there. And the way the Lakers have been playing these last few games, which is very lackadaisical, not playing enough defense, you can lose a game if you're not playing your best or if you think you could just kind of show up to work and it doesn't really matter. Now, I don't expect the Lakers to play the game on Tuesday the way they did these last couple of games. I know there wasn't that much energy because the Suns didn't play any guys and the Jazz didn't play any guys. But at the same time, Lakers will have to play better. And even though Minnesota looks like they're going through some turmoil, they came back in that second half I want to say down 10 at one point, and beat the Pelicans in a big-time game, so give them their credit. Enrique in Santa Ana. Enrique, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Love the show. Thanks for letting me talk real quick. I'm just excited, man. The Lakers are back. We get to see a little postseason action. And really, I just want to kind of talk about what you said, Sliwa, that these Lakers, they can't get complacent, and that kind of was a little bit of the Lakers this season. They have their wins, and then they lose, and then they have their big wins and lose. So they really got locked down. And really, the question I have, you guys could think about it, is who's going to be our big shot maker? They're going to be drawing it up against LeBron and AD, but which one of our role players is going to be that Derek Fisher, that Robert Horry, to take us into this postseason and take us over to the number 18, So I'm just excited to watch, man.
Enrique, I appreciate you calling in. By the way, if you want to be a part of the show, 877-710-ESPN. Enrique, you're right. And listen, we look at these games. Lakers can get a win, and I could pretend like they look great out there. They don't. They look like they've been sleepwalking these last couple of games. And in a weird way, they kind of had the luxury of doing it because nobody played anybody. The Warriors didn't treat that game against the Blazers as they were just going to hang out. They put up 150 points, and they made sure that they weren't going to be a part of the play-in tournament. Who's going to be that guy? The good thing about this Lakers roster, they finished 18-8 over the final 26 games. Keep that in mind, 18-8 over the final 26 games, 10 games over 500, 4 games over 500 when they started the season out 2-10. The good thing about this current Lakers roster is they have guys that can play that role that you're talking about. Who steps up if LeBron and Anthony Davis, there's all this attention on those two players. And I think you have options. I think it could be Austin Reeves. I think it could be D'Angelo Russell. I think it could be Dennis Schroeder for a game, or Rui Hachimura, or Beasley has a night where he's feeling good and he's hitting his shots. They have options. Well, I thought before the trade deadline everything was just on LeBron and Anthony Davis. Now you feel like there's definitely some more options out there. LeBron put the final touches on this game at Crypto, hit a couple big threes, hit one from about 40 feet, 13 of 25, hit 8 threes, 36, 6, and 6. Here's LeBron James on the Lakers win.
What's it been like for you the last couple of days and finishing the way you did today?
For me? Yesterday I got an opportunity to watch my son play the game that he loves to play and do it at a high level. Playing for Team USA is always it's an honor, and my son was very excited about that opportunity to play up in Portland last night at the Nike Hoop Summit. So that was great that the family could go up there and support him, and then for me to be able to play today and play for my guys, and it's a pretty good weekend for our household.
You get Minnesota next. What does that mean to you?
That we get Minnesota next. That's all. We prep. We start playoff prep tomorrow for them, and we get ready for Tuesday.
LeBron, just in a one-game situation like that, you played Golden State here a couple of years ago. How much more important is it to have home court, in which it's almost like a Game 7 without being a Game 7, just energy-wise, if at all?
Well, obviously it's different because, usually in postseason you have multiple days to prep for a team. But you literally have one day to prep and a half a day on game day, but you're kind of locked in on everything that needs to be done. But for us, it's just good that we don't have to travel. We travel a lot lately, so it's good that we get to stay here, but that doesn't make us, we shouldn't be comfortable. We got to stay on edge and get ready for the game.
What's the biggest challenge going against that Timberwolves team defensively for you guys?
It's a challenge versus everybody, and Minnesota is no different. When you got guys like Cat Anthony Towns and Anthony Edwards, those guys can both go for 40 against you and put multiple pressure on you. You got a very cerebral, solid point guard in Mike Conley, who's been in multiple playoff games. So, listen, we know what we're getting ourselves into, but today we should enjoy the rest of the day with the family, enjoy Easter. But tomorrow when we come together, we got to be super duper locked in and laser sharp and focus on what needs to be done Tuesday night.
And today, was this the best you felt since you've come back? You looked very, very fluid out there today. Everything seemed like it was effortless.
I just trying to put the work in, and one thing about me, I know results what happened when you put the work in. So that's all it's about.
You guys finished the regular season winning 9 out of 11. As you mentioned, you had really personally been, I'd say, from late in the game in Utah through the last several games. As a team, clicking quite as well as you were before. What will it take to get that back before Tuesday's game?
I think defense. Obviously, we hang our hats on the defensive end. We know we're really good. We're defending. We're rebounding. We're protecting one another, and then we're getting out and doing what we do best, and that's from a fast break or spraying out, whatever the case may be. So, it's definitely some of the dog days right now as we round out the regular season, but we understand what's in front of us and what's coming about. So, we'll be fine.
This team has been this team. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, BT. I defer to you, BT.
Somebody go.
What is it that you like about playing with Rui?
This is a super competitor. And he wants to be great. He wants to be held accountable. He's always asking me what he can do better to help this team. How can he be better to help this team? Because he wants to, not only when he's on the floor, but he wants to be on the floor. And I feel like we complement each other very well, along with AR. I complement myself with AR very well. And obviously we know with myself and AD what we're able to do. But Rui is, the more minutes when he knows he's going to play, when he gets that routine of consistency, he shows what he's capable of doing.
Ron, this team has been in playoff mode basically since early February. Has that had any, do you think, cumulative fatigue effect as to why this really feels like the dog days? And then I guess secondarily, this team has been playing super important games for 30 games. How does that give you any comfort for this group as it kind of goes?
We put ourselves in a position where we can move on, and that's all we asked for, to put ourselves in a position to be able to move on. We had a very, very slow start, like you said, starting 2-10, and then we had games that we could have won, we had games that we should have won, we had some things that didn't go our way. So to know where we are today, you can be happy about that, but not satisfied. So my coach always says it's time to fill our cups back up. We got the rest of the day, we got the rest of tomorrow to get off our feet, but it's all going to be in the mind, and then get ready to go on and battle on Tuesday.
It was important for you to be in Portland last night. What was that experience like? See Bronny play in that setting, and then obviously a crazy turnaround. To get ready for today.
I wasn't going to miss it. I understand how important fatherhood is. Just coming from a no-father household, so I wasn't going to miss it. And to be able to have my daughter there with me and my wife there, my mom, it means a lot. And we just, we always try to support each other in all our endeavors that we do, either from Bronny, Bryce, Zuri, Savannah, my mom, and so on and so on. So, I'm only as good as my family, so it makes it a lot easier when I land late at night last night or this morning and don't get as much rest as I wanted to, but I feel good coming in here because of the energy and the support that I get from my family. So today was easy.
Last question.
When was the first time you heard the goat bawling?
The who? Oh, these. You talking about these guys?
Yeah.
I have no idea. These guys are hilarious. Yeah, they're hilarious. But I love my teammates, and I think I fell in love with them even more when I wasn't playing. I think you guys probably seen a lot of my tweets and things of that nature, talking about how much I love this team and things when I was in rehab, and and just putting a lot of hours to try to fast track me getting back on the floor. So it's great to be around a good group, good energy, and we all feed off each other. So hopefully we continue this going for not only just Tuesday, but for even after that.
All right, that's LeBron James right there. Lakers over the Utah Jazz in the final regular game of the regular season game, 128-117. So playing game coming up on Tuesday. Lakers, Minnesota Timberwolves. A lot for the Timberwolves to figure out. I don't need to get into all those details. We'll continue to get into it as the postgame show goes. But that matchup could be interesting. Lakers will have to play a lot better than they have these last couple of games, but I think they'll be ready for it. The only downside in this play-in is obviously you don't get rest. And to only have one day in between Your play-in tournament game is not ideal for the Lakers, but that's the purpose of the play-in. You reward those that earn the top 6. Lakers not good enough to be a part of that top 6 with the win that the Warriors had on Portland earlier today. All right, we come back, we'll get a chance to hear from Austin Reeves and D'Angelo Russell. We'll take some of your phone calls as well. Stay right here. Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on 710.
All right, Captain. May the best man win. I wish you the best of luck. I will say this is kind of like my arena here, so I have to come out with a W. San Diego State lost yesterday. I'm going to win today. I just have to do it. All right? Here we go. Thank you to Islands, by the way.
Hey, Sliwa, you guys may have won in pickleball, but I'm about to win in Pop-A-Shot. I'm so committed to this project. Look around. I'm in the back of Yamava. I got guys holding the thing down in the wind. I got the van right here I'm plugged into. That's how committed I am to winning Pop-A-Shot, because I'm an island guy, and I'm going to Islands. Go!
Champ is here. First off, thank you, Islands. Pop-A-Shot championship. Guys, sometimes you just got to get the trophy. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to get the trophy. Thank you to Islands. Pop-A-Shot is over. Had to take down everybody at the station. I appreciate the effort, but I had to take us home, guys.
Lakers game. And your reaction on the Lakers line. The Los Angeles Lakers on 710 ESPN.
Presented by Pizza Hut.
Big is back. It's bigger, it's cheesier. The Big New Yorker from Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut. Big pizza, bigger deal.
Big New Yorker only at pizzahut.com.
Once again,
Here's Allen Sliwa.
82 games in, 128 to 117, the final score. Lakers finished the regular season 43-39. They should be proud about that. I really do mean that. I know if I'd have told you that before the season started, you wouldn't think much of it. But to start out the season 2-10, 18-8 in their final 26 games. Lakers are healthy, playing better basketball at the right time. Not perfect basketball, but playing better basketball. Give them credit for that. Before we go to Austin Reeves, let's go to Joe in the Inland Empire. What's going on, Joe?
How you doing, Allen?
I'm good, brother. What do you think here coming into the playoffs, or at least coming into the play-in tournament?
Me personally, I was hoping we ended up at 7 because Memphis, they're not as strong as people try to lead on to. They lost Steven Adams. That was a big piece of their defense, and even Brandon Clark.
Yep.
He tore his Achilles. So, and the John Morant thing. They just haven't really had the same mojo. So I felt like that's actually our best matchup out the gate. We can catch them slipping. So I'm just happy with we ended up as the best team in the second half. We ended up damn near running the table pretty much from where we started. And I think that we have the potential to go as far as we can go, as long as we bring our hard hat every day.
Joe, appreciate you calling in, brother. Thank you for calling in. Let me squeeze in another quick call here. Lan in the LBC. What's going on, Lan?
Nothing much, man. How you doing?
Good, buddy. What'd you think, whether you want to talk about today's game or just the Lakers as a whole? Feel free.
Yeah, just pretty excited about how well the Lakers did in the second half of the season, but kind of frustrated with how AD is kind of digressing a bit. I'm just curious what your thoughts are on if it's because the other teams are sending doubles quickly, or is it because the acquisitions that we have, they're a bit more comfortable taking more shots, and which leaves less shots for AD? Well,
I think he's back and forth. I think there's some games where we just stand back and say, wow, that's 34-17. And then there's other games where we, stand back and say, wow, only 16 points. Didn't maybe wasn't as aggressive as you wanted to see him. Free throws is always, for me, a telling sign of Anthony Davis. If he's taking 10 or more free throws, you know that he was active in the game. He was engaged in the game. If he's not doing that, then maybe it's a different story. But I don't think you can always equate what he's doing offensively to is he having a good game or not. Let me give you a good example for today's game. He had 4 blocks and 3 steals. 4 blocks and 3 steals. AD has to be great if the Lakers are going to make a playoff run, period. And if it's decent game, average game, really good game, if it's that kind of combination, then the Lakers probably won't have that long of a postseason run. The good news for the Lakers, and Joe wanted to talk about the Memphis Grizzlies and what they would look like. I don't think there's a reason to look that far ahead. If you go on a 1-game losing streak on Tuesday, you're playing for your life on Friday. And then it's not the Memphis Grizzlies. It could be the Denver Nuggets. So I'd feel much more comfortable Lakers paying complete attention, which I know they will against the Minnesota Timberwolves coming up on Tuesday, and that's the only thing that they should be paying attention to. Okay, let's take a quick listen here. Here's Austin Reeves on the Lakers win.
Austin, playing tournament Tuesday, Minnesota. What does that mean to you?
I mean, obviously, we'd like to, be one of the 6, that is already in a, playoff spot. But, it's the hand that we've, kind of played all year, and we feel really good with where we're at. So it's really just about going in and taking care of us.
Yeah, the big picture, you guys did start off 2-10. Do you like the way you finished?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think since the trade deadline, we've played some of the best basketball in the league. And we've actually, not been that healthy. We've had Brown out at my fault. We've had Brown out at points. We've had AD out at points, D'Lo. So, if we're whole and healthy, we like our opportunity.
Minnesota's kind of like you guys. Towns missed a lot of time. They've had some injuries over there. What do you think about the matchups on the court?
They're a really good team, and like you said, super talented. And, all right, bro, get away. But they're a really good basketball team that plays really hard, on both ends. And like you said, got a lot of talent. So, we got to, show them the proper respect and, go play a good game.
You guys have played them twice with this, I think with this version of your team. Was it just once?
No.
Just in Minnesota?
No, I think we did twice, yeah.
Okay,
I think we did here once, too, yeah.
You guys have a bunch of guys on this team that are very familiar with what they do. How much do you think that will help, especially in a quick scout situation like this?
No, it'll help a lot. I mean, anytime you have a player that's played for another team, or at least I do, when they call out a play, communicate back and forth, like kind of what's going on, because they, been in the system, they played there a couple years ago. So I think it'll mean a lot and help a lot, and they'll speak up on it.
How are you feeling physically?
I am amazing. Never better. We got a dub. First play-in, play-off. Let's go.
AD did mention that you thought you were done, didn't you? AD did mention in the postgame interview on the court that he thought maybe defense could be better. Looking at the last few games or so, better communication, that type of thing. Do you sense that as well?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I personally haven't been very good defensively the last couple, but at the same time, it's been a long year. Everybody's a little tired, but you got to fight through that. Thank God we have AD, on the back line of defense. If you do get beat, I don't know how many blocks he had today, but I think he had like 3 and 3 possessions there in the second or third quarter. So yeah, I mean, it could always be better. You always find something in a basketball game. You can do better offensively, defensively, but it's all about grinding out wins.
All right, that's Austin Reeves right there. Let's take a quick phone call. We're going to go to D'Angelo Russell after this. Ken in Newport Beach. What's going on, Ken?
Hi, Alan. Happy Easter.
You as well. Thank you.
Biggest problem with the Lakers playing their team of reserve stood under the basket. They were getting killed on offensive rebounds and the whole thing. Now, the problem is that is Minnesota's strength, assuming nobody gets suspended. I wonder if they could play Mo Bamba with AD to try to slow that down, because they were killed today underneath the basket. What do you think about that?
Excuse me there, Ken. Lakers gave up 76 points in the paint. So, I mean, that's not exactly, ideal. And Lakers shot at least from the three-point line, 18 of 45, which is 40%. That's a really good percentage for the Lakers. You can't depend on that on a night-in, night-out basis. So I don't know what they're going to do on Tuesday. I know if Gobert ends up playing, that's obviously the Twin Towers, Gobert and Karl-Anthony Towns, but Lakers were just there a week ago and took care of business in Minnesota, and really it wasn't close in the second half. I think Lakers got options against Minnesota, but since that win against the Timberwolves, Lakers have been right? Beat the Rockets, no big deal. Houston doesn't have anybody. Lost to the Clippers, or barely beat the Utah Jazz, who didn't play anybody in overtime. Lost to the Clippers, and then Phoenix and Utah again were pretty underwhelming. So I would just say that Lakers, their brand of basketball, their sense of urgency, all that stuff's got to be completely different come Tuesday. They have not done a good job from that perspective. Let's take a listen here. Here's D'Angelo Russell on the Lakers win.
D'Angelo, you guys are playing your former team on Tuesday in the play-in game.
Yes, sir.
What does that mean to you to have to face those guys that traded you to this team?
I mean, not the fact that they traded me has anything to do with it, but the fact that they're in the way of what we're trying to get done. I mean, that's all that really matters to me, honestly. Trying to prepare mentally now for that, because obviously it's a big game and it matters. It dictates a lot. So just trying to get that win by any means.
How much did the experience last year help you being in the play-in game? The Lakers won the play-in game 2 years ago. What's that experience like?
It's an all or nothing type of. It's like Game 7, right? It's like all the marbles. If you don't get it done, you go home. Simple as that. So you see guys playing extremely hard. You see coaches coaching extremely hard. Everybody's trying to do their job to the fullest to get the win, because it obviously matters. So simple as that. I mean, I don't know if you get experience from it. It's basically like a playoff environment.
Hey, D'Angelo. Some of the guys have talked about thanking you and some of the newer guys for helping turn the season around. What do you think you and some of that newer group have been able to bring here? And could you feel any sort of shift, once you guys got here?
Yeah, I mean, I think energy's powerful. We came in with some good energy. Obviously, the past was the past here, and the energy wasn't where it should have been to obviously get wins in this league. It's hard to get wins when everything's not firing on all cylinders. So for us, we want to come in and just control our energy, because that's one of the only things we can control at this level. So come in with that positive vibe and try to make it contagious for the group that obviously may have been a little traumatized from before. So.
Hey, D'Angelo. There was a play during today's game where I think you threw it to Austin, you threw it back to him. It's like kind of back and forth. Ball had gravity. I don't even remember which one of you it ended up landing with, but whoever had it hit the three.
That was my favorite play of the game.
Can you speak to that a little more and what it's like to play with teammates who just kind of allow the ball to move?
I mean, with Austin, it's so fun to play with because he's so crafty, and getting the opportunity to watch him dominate the game from the way he does it is pretty impressive. And then when we're out there together, we're trying to get in where we fit in a lot of the times, trying to play off the other guys. And so whenever me and him kind of get something going, we get a little chuckle out of it, and we have fun with that. So for him to repay me with the assist, I try to get it back to him, just to return the favor. So, I mean, we got a good group. Obviously, Bron gets it going like that. You got to kind of and support that, and AD vice versa. So anybody can get it going on our team, and when our energy's right and guys are supporting it, makes us that much harder to guard.
Is D'Angelo Russell right there for the Lakers. So Lakers close out the season 43-39. They beat the Jazz 128-117. Okay, I got a few things to promote here. Tuesday night, Lakers will host the Timberwolves. Pre-game show will be at 5:30. Tip-off will be at 7 o'clock. So I think we were trying to look here. If tip-off was going to be 6:30 or 7, it's going to be 7 o'clock. That is official. So they're going to have two games on Tuesday. Heat will play the Hawks in one of the play-in tournament games. Lakers will be the second one. 7 p.m. tip-off, Lakers and the Timberwolves. So keep that in mind. I'm going to have Lakers talk tomorrow night, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. We'll get a really good chance to kind of preview the game, see what happens with this Rudy Gobert stuff, see what happens with the Minnesota Timberwolves, some Jaden McDaniels punching a wall, fracturing his right hand. So we'll get a little bit more of what, once the dust settles, what that's going to look like. We got all our local shows tomorrow, so keep that in mind as well. Keyshawn, Jay, Will, and Max will start things off at 6 a.m. Travis and Sliwa show, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and then, like I mentioned, Lakers talk, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. It's going to be kind of a crazy week here, crazy couple of days. You know, in a perfect world, Lakers just handle business on Tuesday, and then they get a few days rest before the actual playoffs start over the weekend. But you got to take care of the Timberwolves first. Is it kind of ironic that, not really a surprise, but the Lakers-Timberwolves game that we had a week ago Friday did determine whether this game was going to be in L.A. or Minnesota, so Lakers get home court. The Lakers-Clippers game that we had on Wednesday determined whether the Lakers were going to be in the play-in tournament or out. They're obviously in the play-in tournament. So a lot moving and shaking around the NBA, but the most important thing is Lakers will have a game Tuesday against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Shout out here, thank you to Michael Funches, Rebecca Womble, Wilbert Flores for handling everything on the radio side. Our social team, thank you to Cody Lou and DeAndre Hawkins for handling everything there. I'll be back on tomorrow. Appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm Allen Sliwa. This has been the Pizza Hut Lakers postgame show on 710 ESPN.
Thank you for listening to Lakers Basketball Tonight.
Lakers Basketball on ESPN LA is sponsored by Subaru of Glendale,
The #1 volume Subaru dealer in California.
Lakers Basketball. Big is back. It's bigger, it's cheesier. The big